Kakusei Hunter OmegaHōn with 百獣戦隊ガオレンジャー25周年記念スペシャル。
By nighttime at a forest having a campfire, Shout and Enkaku are almost recovering from their injuries from Heart the Roar and Naku's attack at the jungle, as Enkaku is still upset over the unseal of his dark counterpart in the hands of Heart, anxious that he doesn't want the world and its people to be conquered and killed by the Hyakujū again if their Gaoranger are found by Heart and his friends he mentioned, making Shout to comfort and understand his Kakuzyu friends' feelings about that war a long time ago, but wonders on how Heart possesses not only the red-colored OmegaHorn, but the black Omega Analyzer, which Anna explains no one could have secretly taken photos of that index device during any treasure hunter back when Shout have created it, making the treasure hunter himself wonder if Heart have been stalking on him during his hunter battles so he can get a look on what Anna looks like to make that same one as plagiarizing, but in black-colored. After those thoughts, Enkaku explains to Shout and Anna about the ego he senses within Heart, finding out that Hyakujū hunter may not have been evil, despite the goal he and his friends are achieving, which makes those two wonder if he and friends are on the good side. Just then, they hear sounds of footsteps in swishing grass, prompting Shout to get up to find out who it is. Turning on his flashlight, he and Enkaku believing to be a Hyakujū hunter who plans to kill the two. However, Shout gets a heart attack after the twin hunters Ire and Al jump scared him, as the two along with Gariko approach the campsite to check on and reveal to the treasure hunter and the Kakuzyu king about their own encounters with the Hyakujū and their hunters back at the village, which makes Shout to reply he and Enkaku faced the same thing during his treasure hunt, even disappointed when Heart uncovers the unknown treasure to be an Hyakujū a Gaoranger that Shout dislikes. The twins and Gariko give out information about the two hunters I the Growl and Sharp the Crunch and their friend's goal for the sake of good they're working so hard to accomplish, but before that I apologizes to the twins for commanding Go-Aku defeating Gokaku, making Shout, Enkaku, and Anna find out those Hyakujū hunters are definitely on the good side after all, which makes Gariko skeptical to be true since the Hyakujū the hunters found are way too dark and violent than the Ibar alliance who possess the Zetsu Kakuzyu. To find out the truth by tomorrow morning, the four hunters and their Kakuzyu will have to find their base of operations to confront and get answers from those hunters about their mission, which Anna was able to locate the base after being connected to Heart's analyzer during the battle. In the end, the hunters enjoyed a nighttime feast to get them and their Kakuzyu full of energy and recovering before the big adventure. The next morning, the six Hyakujū hunters Heart, I, Sharp, Prey the Screech, Fred the Charger, and Lone the Howl along with Naku, are reunited and head inside the cave to reveal the mission giver all of the Hyakujū Gaorangers they have found, making the giver happy and already knows the promise to turn the hunters' dear friends back to normal. However, the giver senses intruders far away to the cave, telling the hunters they'll get their wish after they prevent the intruders from entering the cave, which the six obeyed to head out and summon as many Hyakujū to prevent the intruders, who turn out to be Shout, Enkaku, the twins, and Gariko. However, the good hunters see the OmegaHorn fighter Zetsu approaching and land to the ground, revealing to be Berzer, Genu, Raiji, Zetsu Enkaku, and his captain, Ibar, all five of the Ibar alliance who have their own goal to settle with the Hyakujū hunters and their leader, warning the good hunters to not interfere on this punishment. Seeing Shout arguing with Ibar, Enkaku against Zetsu Enkaku, and Gariko against Berzer and Genu, while Raiji is out of this quarrel, the twin hunters tell them to stop and that they should work together only for this mission. Although reluctant at first, the hunters and the two flame horn beasts have no choice but to do it, shaking hands in the process, as all 10 of them head out to find a massive army of Hyakujū, prompting the Class S Kakuzyu hunters to summon their horn beasts, the twins Gokaku and Berzer's Hikaku, and use their powers to their weapons Gariko's Zenkaku to her greatsword and Genu's Saikaku to his hammer, while Shout who gets into his Go Hunt suit, and Ibar command Enkaku and Zetsu Enkaku to transform into their beast forms, beginning the charge attack on the Hyakujū while reaching to the cave. The six Hyakujū hunters went separate to command their discovered Hyakujū to attack the good side. During that Heart, while commanding Naku in his beast form, pulls out his own dark orb, telling his animal friend that after getting rid of the intruders, the giver will turn him, the other animals, and their majestic island back to healing state, as he gets comforted by Aku, who is given thanks by Heart for being there with him despite being a dark version of Meikaku, as the hunter then commands Aku to join the fray. After the good hunters and their horn beast manage to take down the Class A Hyakujū, they get confronted by their dark counterparts, as the twins and Gokaku go up against I and Go-Aku, Gariko taking on Zanaku and Sharp, Hikaku against Hyakuju high in the sky with Berzer and Prey on board to duke it out, Genu taking on Sayaku and Fred, and R.E.D gets confronted by Lone again, who tells the Iron Wall himself that he may have been joining forces with the good hunters, but tells him he should really bring back that justice within his heart if he leaves the Ibar Alliance, which R.E.D tells Lone again that the Alliance is where he works for justice, as he uses Hekikaku's powers to attack Lone, who responds in using Nin-Aku's powers. Then lastly, Shout with Enkaku and Ibar with Zetsu Enkaku have come face to face against Hard with Enaku, who mocks his light counterpart to think that the Zetsu Kakuzyu are way better than the originals and the Akuzyu. Then those light beasts in the Alliance are wrong to be messing with the Akuzyu, who will continue their rampage on Earth. During this heated match, Shout tells Hart that Enkaku has sensed his ego to be on the good side instead of evil, so why did he and his friends have to do something that is unforgivable? This question also speaks from the Kakuzyu hunters to really know if the Akuzyu hunters are really on the good side, prompting each Akuzyu hunter having no choice but to reveal themselves.
21世紀の幕開けとともに、当時の6人のハンターは、1000年の眠りから目覚めた鬼族と戦うべく、あらゆる動物を代表する戦士となった。彼らはそれぞれ、自らの真の名を明かす。ローンとして、千列の銀狼、拝みつくまろ。フレッドとして、鋼の猛牛、牛込曽太郎。プレイとして、孤高の表し、わしを学。シャープとして、怒涛のサメ、サメ使い。愛として、麗しの白虎、大河さえ。そして、ハートとして、灼熱の獅子、獅子かける。彼らは力を合わせ、悪から守られるべき命あるところ、正義の雄たけびあり。野生10チームすなわち、百獣戦隊、ガオレンジャー。